Friday Fun Day episode. We're kicking education down the road a little bit in true American political fashion. Now just
Yeah,
doing
we
what.
wouldn't be an American politics podcast without promising to do something about education and then kicking it down the road.
Yeah, exactly. So let's start this one off talking about zoos instead. Ethical treatment of animals. So, pretty basic question to start us off. Are zoos ethical?
So I don't think so. I'm not a fan of zoos because one thing about it is they're kind of just pointless. Like they're for entertainment, you know. It's one thing everyone talks about factory farming, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's not great either when it comes to like the treatment of animals, of course, but we need to eat and it's, you know, an efficient way to get food. So it does serve a purpose where zoos are just like the purpose of it is so that your 8-year-old kid can throw an ice cream cone at a gorilla or something. And it's like the thing about it is that a lot of like chimpanzees and like there's, you know, I know like the dolphins was a big one, the
Hmm.
SeaWorld thing. It's like some of these animals are have nearly or just as much consciousness as humans do. They just don't have the ability to communicate on the level we do. And so it's almost like if you were a chimpanzee, it's just like, yeah, these slightly smarter chimpanzees just kidnapped me and threw me in a cage so that their kids can look at me.
Yeah, no, it's pretty detestable when you think about it like that, especially even nowadays, probably in the past 10, 20, maybe 30 years, whatever. It's tried to be about like, oh, preservation and, like, oh, we're helping these animals out. But where is this rooted? You can definitely see this was rooted in, us asserting dominance over, other animals.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it kind of seems like that, and it's just, I mean, for one, I know it's not even really that fun of an experience where it's like, okay, you know, you're going to the zoo, you're seeing some animals, especially nowadays. It's like you could, there's got to be a more humane way of showing animals to people,
Yeah,
you know?
no, it's and then so like what's the justification for it? Like they're not intelligent, they're not conscious. There's experiences, there's things you can view in animals that are very similar to us, senses of morality, ethics, sorrow. You can sense these emotions. Anyone who's ever had a pet can, tell you that, their animal is feeling happier or sadder than usual. It's not really an acceptable thing, to just like stick them in an environment that is so not appealing to them, essentially.
Yeah, right. It also goes against their nature too. I mean, but you could say the same thing about humans, where the world we live in is not what we are naturally designed to live in. So we're kind of somewhat like animals in cages
We're kind
too
of
when it comes
in
to
our own
sitting in an
zoos,
office all day.
right?
Yeah, right. We create our own zoos. That's a interesting take. I know I've referenced it a couple times. Yuval Noah Harari is like one of my favorite authors. He's got a couple good books, and one of his books he talks about how we've trapped ourselves on accident and haven't noticed because if you look throughout long-term history back in like the hunter-gatherer days during the agricultural revolution when we decided what's better than hunting and gathering is to just plant our food right here and just settle, and it seemed better because it was like, yeah, we can get way more food for less energy and less time. You know, we can have more kids because, you know, hunter gatherer days, kids were kind of a burden if you had too many of them or if you had not enough people to take care of them while moving around. But when you're settling, you can have a bunch of kids, and now that's free labor, so they can help plow the fields and that type of thing. But what they didn't think of, because it's an entire generation's worth of problems before the results kick in, is that now you have more kids, so you got to feed more people, and now that the communities grow, you need to feed more people. So it's never like there's never a real true surplus where it's like, oh yeah, I'll just, you know, plant my food in the fields here, and then I'll be good for life. Because it's always like the more you grow and the more you have, then the more you need, you know, because then eventually you need to build fences to secure it because you don't want people coming and stealing it. And it's just like it's grown that way ever since, where it's the more we have, the more we need. And so realistically, we might be much happier just hunting and gathering.
Yeah, it's we've referenced back this a few times how there's things you'll see on the internet right now like, oh, we gotta return to monkey, right? Like essentially referring to, like, we gotta like return to like our state of nature. And we've said many times over, like, people don't realize that we have it infinitely better, than they did. It's kind of a give and take at a certain point, though. It's Look who's joining. All right.
Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, special guest of the day, Nickdov11. It's an honor to have you.
Thanks, Rich.
We're gonna
It's an honor to have you, but better late than never, I suppose.
we're gonna get sued for the copyright on that,
Oh,
but
fuck. I think you get
Yeah.
30 seconds. And I stopped it at 25.
we'll be good. No one watched this anyways. We didn't even get the license to Bluebeam though, so
Shit.
Yeah, Bluebeam denied us on the licensing. We almost got into some litigation with
Fucked
them.
up.
yeah.
Riley, for all people, the youngest Flynn.
Thought he was a friend. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to special guest, celebrity guest of the day, Nickdov11. Why don't you give him a little rundown? Who are you, and what are you doing here?
Thank you. I'm just a guy. I'm one of the boys. I'm just a regular person. I don't know. I started making videos on TikTok just because I thought it was funny. I just like making videos, and then one blew up, and now that's like a big thing in my life, I guess.
So you're somewhat of a social media influencer, content creator, you'd say?
Content creator more than influencer. I don't really fucking influence anybody to do shit. I have made a few ads, but I don't think anyone bought anything that I made ad for.
You get paid on that ad?
Yeah. I had the first one was with Wish, where they gave me like $100 each video, and I did one a month. And then eventually I was like, you guys got to give me more. This sucks. And all your products suck. And like all the comments would be like, why are you advertising for them? They suck. I bought shit and it was the cheapest shit ever. So I was like, yeah,
Do you feel like you were selling out your fans?
for sure I was selling out. And then I did a few other ones. The Hooters one, yeah, Richie went with. And then
Yeah, I was in that
yeah,
one.
the Asians love me. I did that E-Meet. It was like a video camera for conferences. I was like, who do you think watches my videos that are going to buy this? And then I did like some super.
Well, so
Go ahead.
I was just so speak that's a good point about the selling out versus not. Do you think in the long term would you, I mean, do you look back and be like, oh yeah, I kind of regret doing those ads because I might have lost some fans or at least have disappointed some fans, or do you think it's more like that doesn't really have that much of an effect because it's just kind of the business?
No effect on me because I don't think anyone even bought shit that I advertised. Like, I don't have like diehard fans. I have people who, I mean, I'll get like 30 million views and then still have like, I think 270,000 followers. Like, you're not, like, you know what I mean? That many people watched it and then like didn't follow. So it's like, but I used to have like a handful of like the same people comment on every video. And I don't really have that anymore. I kind of gave up. But either way, I don't.
Could that be because you sold out?
No, I don't think so. I don't. I didn't scam anyone. You know what I mean? I'm not like the Hawk Tua girl. I didn't create like fake.
that was an interesting one.
Yeah, I've never made like.
Not gonna have a Dove coin coming out anytime soon?
No, nothing like that. Whatever. I think the ads were fine. I don't think anyone really cared.
So you say you'd have like a video hit like millions of views, but then you'd struggle to gain more followers off that. Like, do you have any guesses why that is? Like, you have to have like sustained videos presences.
Yeah, consistency. That's a huge thing, and I just wasn't consistent. I like kind of got uninspired after a while. I just didn't really like doing it, and I used to post like twice a day. When I first blew up, I was like, this is the
Yeah.
most
So
exciting shit ever, and then it kind of became more of like a hassle.
is that due to the algorithm when you're talking about posting 2 times a day? Is that because that is supposedly or in theory how to game the algorithm a little bit to support your page? More content means more likely to sustain followers and to get more views, or is that just is that based on anything as far as like a strategy
Yeah,
goes?
for sure. I mean, the more you post, the more views, the more total likes you're gonna get, the more people who will discover you. Because it's not just your followers, it's the For You page, which was like the most genius idea ever. Because now it's not. I remember when I was like in eighth grade or a freshman, and I saw all these like Instagram fuckboys like getting famous, and I was like, damn, like to have like a K, to have like 10,000 followers, that would be so sick. Like to do anything, and I was like, how is it even possible? They have the Discover page, but I don't know when they even put that up. But I was like,
And the Discover page wasn't like a huge thing for a
yeah, no, I
while,
love
right? That was like you would like click on Discover, there'd be nothing interesting there before they started putting in, those attention grabbing algorithms that just feed you more and more of the shit that you like.
I never went on there. I don't know if anyone ever went on there. So I was like, how do so many people like follow this person? Like they clearly don't know that many people, and they're not like doing anything important. They're not like on TV or something. They're just like hot
You,
guys.
you you remember the days of buying like 500 Instagram followers or whatever? Is like $3, and then you'd see someone who you knew had like a couple hundred, then they had like 2,000. It's like, dude, this guy definitely just bought like 2,000 bot
Dude, I
followers.
fucking did that.
Yeah, I pulled that move on SoundCloud. I pulled that move on SoundCloud. I had like 100,000 followers, 3 listens.
Remember that. Dude, I when I got this job, one of the best salesmen I've probably ever met, his name was Scotty. He was a beast, but he also like he bagged a lot of chicks. They weren't all dimes, but I still respected it. And he was like, "Dude, you gotta like get on this website, and they'll follow a bunch of people and comment like whatever you want it to, and like stuff, so that people will follow you back." And I was like, okay. And it was pretty cool. You could pick. So I picked like every sorority within like 10 miles. And I look, and it followed like 3,000 people. And then my free trial ran out, and it didn't unfollow anyone like it was supposed to. So now, yeah, I just followed like a shit ton of random people. I feel scammed.
That must be rough. That must be rough seeing all the sororities on your timeline all the time.
Dude, it's funny though,
But speaking of what you said about
no, I think I also put in like Asian girls or something. So now there's just like a bunch of random like Asian men, and I don't fucking know, but
And you wonder why most of your followers are Asian people.
yeah, that makes sense. That was on Instagram. But yeah, no, I just ended up it was a bunch of weird pages too. I feel like it didn't even follow like sororities. It was just random fucking people who went to that college. And then I just started unfollowing a bunch of people, but I'm sure there's still like 1,000 people that I have no idea who they are. But they're probably like bots, so they never post anyways. So I don't even know. But yeah, that's that.
yeah. But so speaking of what you're saying about the Discover page, so we were talking about this in the last episode or a couple episodes ago, where nowadays it seems like social media is an entirely different thing than it was at one time, where it used to be you'd be on Facebook and you'd see your friends or your family and they would post and you'd see what the people you know are
Hmm.
up to. And now social media has taken the form of kind of an entertainment platform where, especially with Reels, I think was the major turning point there, where it became less about seeing what your friends are posting and more about the constant, entertainment factor of seeing Reels after Reels. And you see a bunch of people who you have no idea who they are, but they made a funny reel. And kind of, I think you got into it right around the time that I would say that it seemed to start to tilt that way. You were right at the forefront of it, and that I think is due to TikTok, is what we would say. But when it comes to TikTok compared to the other social media platforms, in that sense, what is the difference as far as when you post the same thing on TikTok versus Instagram versus Facebook, how does it work as far as, what types of content do better on which and what's best for gaining a bunch of views and what's best for, maybe accumulating a large following that's actually going to keep coming back and watching versus just they saw one but then never again. What's kind of the ins and outs of that?
Man, I think definitely. Hold on, I need another beer, so I'll take this with me. Dude, Instagram and Facebook, the people are so much different. Dude, they're fucking mean. Like, the first video I posted on Facebook was the one at remember the kickback? Like, how to pull up to the kickback, and I'm just doing, like, gay shit with you guys. That was one of the first videos I posted on Facebook. And I never intended to post on Facebook, but I heard they pay a lot more. And I immediately got so much hate. And like, if you look at the difference between the TikTok comments, it's all probably like little kids or something saying like ha ha ha, you know, laughing emojis. Facebook, it's like grown people who are like, this is so fucking gay, like kill yourself. Like, I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. And then on YouTube
I kind of
too,
want to.
YouTube, some guy was like, don't stop posting, give up. I was like, well, come on.
I think that segues nicely into. I've been seeing this, right? Like, I'm sure you boys are familiar, men of culture. Things like you see, like whole threads. Sydney Sweeney is mid, right? And like it'll be like whole comments of dudes like saying like, "Oh, she's not even that hot," whatever, right? And then something funny I saw about that's like every single comment saying that she's not that attractive, their profile picture is not going to be of them. It's going to be of some like anime character or some like sports team or something. So it's like you're trying to make fun of someone who's a multimillionaire model actress, and you can't even show your own face to the internet.
Yeah, I think everyone's like entitled to their own opinion, but at the same time, those people probably aren't even real. And if they are real, they're probably maybe that's actually what they think, or they could be rage baiting, or it could be.
Yeah, I think rage baiting's a lot of online discourse
And
now.
I even gave Richie this idea. It
Yeah,
should have
that's
been the
something.
person who posted the original post, who made a different account and said like, "Nah, she's super ugly," just so that they get more engagement. And that's part of the reason why some of my shit blew up because I was doing like super dark humor about like family members dying and shit, and there were so many
Hmm.
people who were like, "This is fucked up. Like, why would you post this?" And then other people come back at that.
And then other people reply, "Oh, that's just comedy. Have a sense of humor." And then someone else replies to that person saying, "Oh, there's certain lines you shouldn't cross." Meanwhile, that's 6 comments in a matter of 10
Yeah,
minutes driving the algorithm.
yeah. That's I mean,
That's something that I never noticed because I've always been a consumer on social media. I've never been a producer of content really, and I never thought about that until Dav had told me about it back when he started blowing up. And then we had our little taste of TikTok fame too. I think we got a couple thousand views on one of our clips from the Halloween special. And when I was posting, I was seeing, and I remember thinking to myself, like as I was seeing, every time someone commented, there'd be people commenting saying like, "You guys are idiots," and I'd be like, "Yes, yes," because it was like every time someone commented, the views would start going up, and that's when I started thinking about it, is like that's what these people are doing. They're
Yeah.
they're they're purposely posting something that's stupid so that they can bait people into saying, "Hey, that's stupid,"
yeah.
and they're like, "Yes,"
It's yeah,
That's
it's
something that I
all
think the
it's
consumer doesn't
all
see.
it's all engagement bait now, essentially, one way or another,
Yeah,
right?
dude, and you reached a
Yeah, I
different
mean that's crazy.
audience than me. I read some of your comments and I was like, some of them I was like, I don't even fucking know what they're talking about. Like you reached a more intelligent audience than I probably have because they were like, I mean, you guys are intelligent guys and you're posting like intelligent shit. So yeah, our audiences are a lot different. I've had like 6-year-old kids commenting on my videos about Santa Claus, saying, "Don't talk about Santa that way." I'm like, "Oh fuck."
You're bad
And
mouthing
that's
Santa.
actually a really dark side of like no of like content creation. So many people prey on like little kids. It's actually really fucked up. And I tell like
Yeah.
I have a bunch of nieces and nephews, and whenever they watch like some corny shit, I just tell it to them straight. I mean, I tell them everything straight. I'll be like, these people don't actually act like this. Like they're being cornballs on purpose to for you to watch so they make money off you. And they're like, no, no, they actually talk like that.
So I'm unfamiliar with this side of TikTok. I think what are we talking about here as far as targeting kids, just making content in a way that will kind of appeal to the child's brain more than the adults.
I mean, I think these are just like the outlandish things that you see, like what's that one guy like Bryce Hall? Is that a dude?
Yeah, he's He's
Is
more
that
of a
dude
thirst
Davgin? Like,
trapper though. I don't think he really goes after
okay.
kids. Damn, my connection keeps going out.
All right, I think we're yeah, I think we're losing.
Yeah, you've cut a couple times. I don't know, but
Uh,
what were you saying? What were
no,
you
I
saying
think
though?
Bryce Hall is just like a thirst trapper. I don't think he's really like.
So who are some of these people like like Richie was saying,
Um,
trying to engage trying to trap in kids?
yeah, there's dude. I can't remember his name, but one of the most hated people on social media is this one guy. He I think he like killed himself or something, or is in jail at this point. But he used to post like all this shit. And let me go back a little bit. Those thumbnails that you see that are like, people's reaction face. I mean, like Logan and Jake Paul
Yeah,
were definitely doing
right.
shit like that. And then like, oh, I did this and that in like big letters, like that's gonna attract kids' attention. But there was one guy who was so fucked up. He was just lying about shit. He would be like, "Oh, he kind of did like ghost hunters." So he'd like act like he was talking to ghosts and shit and it was like clearly fake. But he really crossed the line when he said that, "Oh, I'm contacting Mac Miller like a month after he died to like get all of
Uh-huh.
these kids' engagements." And that's when like adults got involved. And they were like, "Bro, you're a fucking scumbag. You're a piece of shit." Yada yada yay. I think he's dead now though. But everyone hated that guy. He was like the most hated person on the internet for like a year.
Yeah, you always see like those thumbnails. It'll be like the big
Hmm.
letters, and then it'll be like something circled with an arrow pointing to it, like four hidden secrets about like Call of Duty Nazi
Yeah,
zombies maps, right?
yeah. I mean,
And
if it's
right,
educate, if it's actually helping people.
Technical difficulty.
yeah, technical difficulties, everyone. Richard, you see that
It's hilarious.
they put Juice World in Fortnite?
No, is that that's a new thing?
I mean, yeah, a couple weeks back now, and some people are pretty upset about that. Dovgan, did you see that they put Juice World in Fortnite?
No, I didn't see that. I haven't played in a while.
Pi- some people are pretty pissed about that, kind of Mac Miller thing, like
Yeah.
people are saying his like mom is just like trying to like cash out basically.
Monetizing him still. I heard his mom was a
Yeah.
scumbag. Wasn't she like a piece of shit?
Yeah, I think she's just trying to like cash in. That's what people are kind of saying. She's like, oh, he like loved Fortnite. He would have wanted to be in the game or whatever. But now it's like, I don't
I
know.
might be thinking
You're
of
just like
XX
shooting up Juice World.
Tension. Was it X Tension or was it Juice World? One of them had like a really fucked up mom.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know shit about fuck, pal.
Speaking of that, though, that is an interesting thing as far as like monetizing Juice World after he's dead. Now, that's something that wasn't a thing ever where, if a famous actor died or a famous musician died, it was like everyone was sad because, I mean, people who knew him were sad because they lost someone they knew, but fans were like, wait a minute, that's it. Everything he's done it's done. Like Elvis dies, it's like there's no more Elvis music. But
Hmm.
does AI change that because people can monetize their image and likeness now where long after they're gone, I mean, we can make an Elvis song. We can take all of Elvis's songs, we can put them into an AI algorithm and we can produce an Elvis song that would sound like him and seem like something he would do.
Yeah, everyone knows it's not him though. I don't
I
know. It's
gotta I gotta
got to be something
Yeah,
disagree.
for
it's
the
obviously not the same.
authenticity.
Yeah, I gotta disagree just based off of. I mean, you can mimic someone all you want, but you're not gonna ever get that soul that they got. Like you can write something similar, but that person might have done a complete 180, like MGK did after he got fucking bodied by Eminem, and went to a different genre. And it's like,
Yeah, it's obviously not. It's not legit,
I
but it's
mean,
something. It's almost like imagine if it's like, oh yeah, down the line, it's like, oh, did you hear the new say Elvis song? It's like, yeah, you see the, and then it's like a small category of Elvis songs are Elvis originals, which was actually Elvis,
that
but
would
then
that would
90% of them are, you know,
what the fuck, man? No, I think
yeah, I
that would
mean
be the
MGK.
death of music.
all right, hang on, all right,
My
time
connection's
out here,
going
time,
ass.
top, dude. Do you? Are you?
Dude, are you shooting
Correct.
this? Are you shooting this on like
What
a,
the fuck?
a a Nokia or something, dude? Like the second you came in, you look like the ghost of Christmas past.
I don't need to
He's like
take this.
frozen. He's like,
Fuck you guys, man. I
Wait, no, hang on, no, for real. Do you have headphones? Are you all right? For one, are you using headphones?
Nah.
Do you not have like? Do you not have AirPods? I thought you had AirPods.
Yeah, I could put it in.
Dov, how do you feel about the TikTok ban that's looming?
I mean, it's been looming for years. I'm not a podcast.
Yeah, but
This is my first celebrity podcast ever.
it's the Modern Symposium
Modern
podcast.
Symposium? I don't. What does that mean? Also, Richie, is your camera off?
I can
Is
see
it? Do
Richard.
you not see me?
Yeah, I can't see you.
I think that's your shit connection.
A symposium is a discussion that they would have back in like ancient Greek times.
So this brings me to my next question actually, because I wrote down here earlier talking about the how you switched over to Facebook because Facebook pays more. Now they don't seem to be paying that much because it doesn't seem like you have a working computer or microphone. Speaking of that though, what is that true? Does Facebook actually pay more?
I don't want to answer you now after that. I also really don't like that I can't see you. But I got this on, I think it was like Amazon Deal Days or whatever. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. I wanted a touchscreen one, and then I put it in the cart. Immediately, it was sold out. So then I got this one. It's a pretty good deal. I mean, it's a
What
nice
is it?
little HP.
Computer?
What was your question? Facebook?
Yes, regarding the like how they, because this is something we talked about before, is that different social media platforms seem to have different ways of monetizing their platform and allowing creators to monetize their content. Whereas like TikTok, part of the reason why TikTok you can get millions of views and not have millions of followers versus, Instagram it might be the opposite where you have all these followers but not as many views is just because of the way they like monetize their algorithms from the but I mean I have no idea from the creator's perspective how it works if there's a noticeable difference.
Yeah, so TikTok, I don't know the exact numbers, but I remember I would be that was when I was posting like 2 times a day, getting millions of views, and after a month, it would probably be like $500 maybe. And then I went over to Facebook, got probably half as many views, and would be getting like 1,500. And I think
So it's more dollars
more
per
dollars per
view
view.
basically.
Yeah. And then what TikTok did, which I was so stupid to agree to, is they were like, hey, you're part of the creator program, whatever, where you get paid per view on everything. Doesn't matter if it's 5 seconds long. Do you want to make like 10 times more if your video is 1 minute long, minimum? And I was like, fuck yeah. Realized that none of my videos are ever a minute long. So I started.
So I've heard of the Creator Fund, and I'd heard people liked it, right? And what is that? Like the breakdown is essentially like if your video is over a minute long, because most of the videos I see on TikTok now are 1 minute and 1 second long.
Yeah.
They all crop them because they're all like trying to get eligible for that Creator Fund video.
They're doing that on purpose. That's a different thing though. And pretty much they said like once you switch, so the original Creator Fund, which is still going, which I could have stayed with, will pay you per view no matter how long it is. And then they were like, well, you can make a lot more if you agree to, only get paid on videos that are a minute or longer. But once you do agree, you can never go back to the other one. So me, like a dumbass, I was like, okay, hell yeah, I want to make more money. And then nothing is over a minute, so I tried to start making shit that was over a minute. And when I did, it would get like 100 views. Like, I'm not saying what I'm saying. I think they were trying to not pay me.
So
When
so
you
do you think they like didn't give you the outreach once you started making that
And
type of?
specifically a
Can-
minute
we-
long. Yeah, I was like, I got,
Can we back it
I
up?
got shadow banned.
Can we back it up? Because I'm not. This is the first time I'm ever hearing about this Creator Fund to begin with. I don't really understand what's going on with that.
It's just
Not much of a creator. I don't know. So when we're talking about like creator fund, that's just monetizing
views.
your content.
Yeah.
And so why would they, when you say once you do it, you can never go back, does that mean once you sign up for this thing where you can now only monetize videos that are only over a minute long, and once you sign up for that, you get paid nothing for the ones that are shorter than a minute?
Exactly.
Why is that? I don't get it. What's the point of that? You just make more money per view now if they're over a minute?
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
You make a lot. You make
I'm curious as to why that's a thing though to begin like why would TikTok be incentivized to want their creators to make videos longer than a minute.
Here's why.
Or I mean, what's the business strategy there? I don't get
Here's
it.
why I think because you have to get to a certain amount to count as a view. So if it's a minute, you probably have to get to like 45 seconds. So possibly they wanted to see who's actually getting engaging views, who get viewers who watch the video all the way through. Because if your
right.
shit's like 5 seconds long and okay, someone watches for 3 seconds and then skips it, it still counts as a view, but that person didn't really give a shit. They're not going to remember, they don't really care about that video. This is just what I'm assuming.
That
So
they
they're just
also
watching the video by accident, basically, as opposed to if they're over a minute, you can tell whether people are actually interested in this
Yeah,
or not.
because you're not going to stay for 45 seconds if, like, you don't care about this video, if it's stupid.
they also might have realized in the long run if they get more people on this minute long plan, right? Most creators aren't the type to be able to keep people for 50 seconds out of 60 seconds, so they're going to pay less in the long run to like the majority of people.
Possibly, yeah. I don't think they really care that much about the money. I think it's really just about the engagement, how interested certain viewers are actually in certain people. Because I've seen videos that have like 20 million, views, but they have like 1,000 likes. Like no one
Yeah.
really.
See that's really interesting cuz the first thing I would have thought if, they're incentivizing making longer videos, to me what the first thing that would jump out would be, well, obviously they want people watching for longer. They want people on their app longer. But that being said, you can watch just as many 5-second videos and be on for the same amount of time as watching like longer 1-minute videos, right? So I think it probably lends credence to what you're saying. They want to see who is actively involved and engaged in which content producers.
Is that a pretzel with the meat and cheese?
No, it's like a cookie.
Oh no.
Maybe go for like another 10, trying to get some more solid stuff, see if we can chop it up.
Yeah, we'll make it make it an hour.
I got something. I was thinking about this in the shower actually, because I was like, what the hell are we gonna talk about? So it's a lot different for like there's comedian actors and then there's musicians or artists, and I think like the power of TikTok is a lot different for the two of them because if you're a comedian, you're probably also an actor. You're probably doing skits, and the long-term goal is to get real acting roles in TV shows and movies and stuff like that. And there hasn't been that many that I've seen of like TikTok people, and there's actually a reason to that. Super famous comedian, like internet comedian that I watched, he said he's gone to a bunch of auditions, and some casting directors have directly told him like, we're not going to sign you because you already have such a big reputation on social media. So it would kind of take away from the movie and stuff like that. But it's way better for musicians or rappers. Like, it's insane the amount of success some of these musicians have gotten off of, a song going crazy on TikTok.
Yeah, because musicians, it's like a finished product sort of deal, right? It's like you create something, if people like it, then you can then monetize that. You can then spread it and say, I can produce more of this myself, right? For like actors, like, all right, so let's say you do like a funny sketch or something like that. Really where the money is, like you're not making your own movie, right? Whereas musicians make their own music, right? You need to go out and like get someone else to like get you into their movie, into their TV show, into their commercial for you to get monetized. And if you're seen as like, oh, you're a TikTok guy, right? Like you were saying, like maybe they're not interested in that.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot more people who need to get involved or, you know, have faith in you for an actor than a
Hmm.
musician because they're already given that finished product. But yeah, it's like the ceiling for both. You know, it's like an actor, comedian or whatever. The ceiling is, you know, big time movie, big time TV show, and then the ceiling for, you know, musicians is selling out concerts, you know, getting a bunch of
Hmm.
fans and shit. And so many more musicians have gotten to that top level off of, you know, TikTok fame, like Yeet. Who the fuck was Yeet before TikTok? Or Tommy Richardson? I hear his song all the time. I mean, they're selling out concerts now, and I've only seen like a handful of like TikTok comedians actually in like movies or TV shows, and when they are, it's always like, you know, they're a backup extra.
Hmm.
I think it was you who was telling me this a while ago too, how music is actually evolving because of TikTok and because of Reels, whereas it used to be up and coming musicians are designing their songs specifically for what you're talking about, where it used to be maybe a build up or maybe they would make entire albums that were concepts. A lot of the up and coming musicians are designing songs where the first 10 seconds is super catchy beat or something that's super like is stimulating to the brain. Whereas all if you look at the top songs now, it's all songs like that because most people are finding their music on TikTok. It's almost like the new. I would say it's like equivalent to back with maybe in like in classical music where there'd be 2 3 hour long super like grand performances versus when like the CD or when like the vinyl or CD player came out and now it was like okay we've got to fit an entire album of songs onto this vinyl that's only got maybe 30 45 minutes worth of music. And another big difference would be if I were to go and I were to see Beethoven perform, it could be 2 hours in and I could decide I don't like this, but am I going to stand up and leave? No, I'm already out for the night. I'm already watching it. Versus musicians when the vinyl record came out or when the CD came out, it was like not only do we have to fit our music into a kind of a shorter, more constrained medium, but we also have to make sure that people don't get a couple songs in and decide to switch out the CD and turn on something else. So we got to make it. Whereas now it's like that to the max. Where TikTok, it's like
Shorter and shorter.
not, we need to make sure that people don't skip my video after 4 5 seconds because it's going to hurt my algorithm.
Dude, it's after like a second, two
Mm-hmm.
seconds. It's crazy.
It's yeah, it's really more than that. It's not it's like the whole song doesn't even matter anymore. It's 5 seconds, and it's funny. I saw a video of someone like making fun of. I forgot who the artist was, but it was pretty much like some one of these like female rappers, and she has like such a great like intro, or like such a great like few second hook, and then the rest of the song is just dog shit. But it doesn't matter because it's always just that 5 seconds that people use in videos, and
Dude, you need that 5 to 10 seconds for like someone to like make up a dance to, and then if that like trend catches on, you have like millions and millions of views based off that 5 seconds that like someone's making a little dance to.
yeah, and the video I saw making fun of it was like going to this person's concert, and it was like the 5 second intro, and they were like, yeah, and then they were like, yo, do you want to go get some food or something? Like, yeah, the rest of this sucks.
You think this has any positive things to it, any positive aspects to it, or you think this is indicative of music becoming not very good, or could it be a good thing though? Maybe music becomes better because of it.
It's good for the people making the music. For sure, it's not good for like listeners or the music industry as a whole, unless
I mean, if this is like a form of evolution, kind of evolution of music, say, is it evolving? Is it devolve? Is it evolving or is it devolving into something that's a whole different thing? I mean, compared to if you were to look at someone like the Beatles or something like that, compared to music now, obviously there's a big difference. But I mean, there's also still good music now. I mean, there's different types of music. Maybe someone our parents or grandparents would say the music is trash now, as they've been saying for hundreds and hundreds of years, every generation. But
That's a constant though, yeah.
yeah, right. Are they right this time? That's the question. Are they right this time, or is this just a phase? What do you think?
I mean, there's still a lot of like good musicians and people who actually care about it, and then there's some people who don't. And I think it's kind of the first time we've seen so many people who don't actually care. They just want the views. They just want that 5 seconds so that people can make videos to it. So it's kind of hard to tell right now. It just depends on how things go. But right now, I think it's just the first time we've seen people get big by not actually giving a shit.
Yeah, I feel like, right, I was about to say, like, before you couldn't really have things like this because in order to get on the stage to sell out, you had to like already be established, right? You had to have
Fake it.
good music essentially for people to actually like listen to you so then you could sell out, make like a cheesy like say Christmas album or like a country album or something as like a blonde woman or some whatever, right? Like just you like sell out in some way. Right, versus now it's like, all right, like I literally just need like 10 seconds of a catchy beat and that's all I need.
Mhm. Yeah, you don't have to make a whole song anymore. And back to a million hours ago when Richie was saying about the AI stuff, about making Elvis a new song. I haven't seen the movie yet, but that Bob Dylan movie, I watched a thing with,
I've heard it's good.
yeah,
I saw an ad for that. Yeah,
I
that's
watched
pretty
an
good.
interview with Timothy Chalamet, and he was talking about how he was just like quoting all this stuff that Bob Dylan said, and I guess in one of his like later interviews after he was already retired, he was saying, he was like, honestly, because they were asking if he's going to make any more music, and he was like, honestly, I don't think I can. He was like, I really don't know how I wrote that stuff. Like the music was just coming to me. He
Yeah.
says it was from God. He was like, I think God just gave me the lyrics, told me what to say. He was like, I've sat down and tried to make a new song, and at that point in my life, it was just the lyrics were coming to me, and he was like, I couldn't do that anymore.
11 minutes.
It's gone. I've lost
Dude.
my, you know.
Music, art, it comes from inspiration, right? From like the ether, right? You either, it's not like this is always been in your mind or whatever, right? At a certain point, it like comes into your mind and you have to like act on it. You have to bring it into the world, right? And it all revolves around having that spark, right? And you can't force it. You can't force yourself to make good art, right? It just kind of
Yeah, it
happens.
seems super like spiritual to him, or something
Hmm.
like that, something non physical that was kind of given him the songs, and he was like, I lost it. I don't have it anymore. So recreating something like that when he can't even do it, it would just kind of be phony for AI to do it.
Well, that's a real like mind boggler kind of because they back in the day they were saying yeah AI might eventually be able to we might have robots that will work on assembly lines or they can build things but what they'll never be able to recreate is art. That's something that's
Right.
human. It comes from the ether. It comes from the soul.
Hmm.
And if we look at the first couple stages of AI that we're seeing now, most use cases are art. We make every single thumbnail using AI. The AI music, I mean, this has been for a while, but there was a debate about this, it was like 10 years ago, where they took a bunch of Beethoven, Mozart, all classical composers, and fed all of their music into an algorithm, and then challenged people who claim to be experts in the field to decipher. They played this song was Mozart or whoever, any classical composer. They gave 5 songs. 4 of them were by people. 1 of them was by AI, and barely anyone was able to actually identify which one was by AI. And even the people that did, it was they had a 20% chance. And so it does seem like they can do it. But the reason it's a big deal is because it really flips everything on its head when it comes to like, is it really someone like Bob Dylan who says it came to me, it came from the soul. Did it really, or did you just so happen to stumble upon something that, mathematically speaking, hit the brain of the human right where it felt the best, and that's why people love the music. And it's we think we have the delusion that this is something that's divine, or it's like yeah, it must be like it came from God. But really, is it just that he played with our brain chemistry in the right way that made us enjoy the sound that he was creating?
Dude,
And it just so happened to be that way.
here's the thing, like poetry is mathematics, right? It's all about rhyme scheme, syntax, structure. That's why AI can make really good poetry, right? Same thing with music. Music is literally just counting. It's just math, right? It's how you break up the beats it's tricking your brain into counting essentially. That's why music is pleasing to us. It's even the same thing with like art. Art, like if you take like art classes, I never really have, but they'll like tell you it's like this painting's good because this third, this third, this third are all like equal. Like the top third, middle third, bottom third all have like equal parts. There's like the golden ratios and things like that. All things that computers are even better at than us. So it's just
Same with like
interesting.
attractiveness, right? Don't they say that,
Right.
you know, it's like, oh yeah, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, except that we can figure out how attractive someone will be based on like the symmetry of their face and all these different kind of mathematical variables.
Hmm.
Is all art just tricking? Is it all just a trick and it's really just no different than a spreadsheet?
Basically, yeah, it's a sensory it's sensory math for the most part.
Especially nowadays and when the medium, or is it all about the medium? That's another question because we say that now because we're using mediums that are all based on zeros and ones.
Yeah.
I think also knowing, because a lot of people when they hear or see arts, they say like, oh, who made this? Who was involved in this? And if you just say AI, I think people are like, oh, this sucks. But if
Yeah, good. Yeah,
Hmm.
good point. If part of the reason that music is so, part of the reason we love music so much or art is because it did come from another human. It's
Right.
like how many times you listen to a song that you really like and you're like you feel like you relate to the artist. You know, it's like yeah, like I know what he's saying here. I feel like see like a good work of art and it like touches it touches something in you where it's like yeah, this is describes a feeling that I have perfectly, something like that. And AI can do it mathematically, but it's not the same because it's like I can't relate to this AI. You know,
yeah,
it's kind of just
and
bullshit.
it tells that person's
That makes a lot of
story,
sense.
you know? That's like when all like the gangster rap and shit, it was like, oh, we're telling stories about, this is our life. We're out here selling crack and shit. And then some people are like, yeah, I can relate to that. And I can see the guy who's rapping this song, and it's like I can feel what he's been through.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I think. And would you say it's the same with comedy?
Yeah, and the other thing with comedy, AI is still many, many years away, I think, from creating like solid comedy and solid art for the most part.
That seems true for sure. AI seems bad
Even
at comedy.
yeah,
Is at
Yeah,
least
that
from what
yeah,
I've seen.
comedy it is not good at.
It's struggling with it for sure.
even math. I mean, AI kind of still sucks. Like, there's been a lot of math problems that I've thrown at AI, and it's completely fumbled.
I don't know about that one. You might be using you might be using the wrong one then because I mean it's not always right, but it there's been I've seen some crazy shit that it's come up with like you know, but
It's
sorry, go ahead.
weird. It's really good at like some stuff and it's really bad at other stuff. Like I sent this to Richie the other day. If you ask an AI how many R's are in the word strawberry,
Yeah,
it does
yeah.
not get it correct.
Yeah.
True. That's a
It
good.
does
That is a
not
good
get
one.
it.
You'd think that would be
You'd think that'd be
very
like
easy.
the easiest thing, and it just there's three R's in strawberry. It's like, oh, there's two. Then it's like, all right, you spell it out for like STRAWBERRY. Count how many R's are there. It's like three. It's like, so are there three R's in strawberry? It's like, yeah, you're right.
I think I
It's like,
saw
thanks.
a
Like,
video about that, yeah.
That is kind of a weird one. I wonder why that. I wonder why that's like it could. I can ask it like the most insane problem about quantum physics or something, and it will give me like a very detailed, accurate answer. And then I ask it how many R's are in strawberry, and it
mm-hmm.
can't figure it out. That's a kind of a
That's like
weird one.
Rain Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Exactly. All right. Any closing thoughts, guys? I think we're about the hour mark, so.
I guess Dav, if anyone is watching who wants to be a social media content creator, they might have seen your videos or maybe not, but either way, they just want to hear some advice from someone who has successfully monetized their their content. What's some if you got any good tips, any obstacles you had, any strategies you took that proved to be successful, any mistakes you might have made that you or want to tell other people not to make, anything like that?
Just consistency. Just keep making videos, keep posting videos. Next day, make more videos, post more videos. Once you lose the consistency, your views will drop significantly. Also, I see so many kids who are like, that's like the most popular thing when they ask, "What do you want to be when you're older?"
Yeah.
You're like, I want to be a YouTuber. Not all of you are going to be YouTubers. Some of you are going to be plumbers. Some of you are going to be garbage men.
Have a backup plan.
Yeah. Most of you aren't funny and you're not talented. You should probably give up.
All right. Nick Dovgin's advice: give up.
We can't all be famous. It wouldn't make sense.
That's true. All right.
All right.
Thanks for being on here, Dov. Even with the technical difficulties, we appreciate the time.
Thank you guys. Maybe we can link
Appreciate
up.
appreciate the good tips.
For sure, for sure.
Tips.
Everyone, all of our 4 or 5 listeners we probably have by now, go check them out. Nickdov11 on TikTok, and is it the same on everything else?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nickdov11.
I just got back into it. I lost all motivation for a while, I'm sure you know, but I made like 3 new videos. I just posted one today, so this was actually a good time to hit me up for this. But,
All right.
Making his comeback right now.
Revenge tour.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a
All
good
right.
one.
Boys.
Till next time.